What's good, y'all? Welcome to Ruck Packing 101. So, you guys should have a list, and I'll include it in the description, of everything that you need for an FTX. So everything that should go in your ruck. I have the list right here. I'm going to go over it really quick, and then I'll show you how to pack. Alright. First and foremost, your uniform. That's going to be your trousers, your coat, your undershirt. It's going to be your PC, your boots, all that good stuff. That's the first part of this packing list. We're not going to go over that too much because you're going to be wearing it. Now, some of those are going to go in your ruck. Like, you should have 2 sets of uniform. So one of those is going to go in your ruck because you're going to need to change into that. The next part is going to be your rifleman set, which is going to consist of your flick or rig and your ruck. So for me, here's my ruck and here's my flick. This is obviously not going to go in my ruck because I'm going to be wearing it. So let's move on to the actual ruck and what goes in there. So first and foremost, we'll start with, you've got your ruck. You'll see in here that I have this bottom pouch zipped up, and you can see it's clipped here. And I'll explain why after a while. So first thing you're going to want to do, first thing that you're going to want to do is this waterproof bag right here. Take it, reach down in there, grab the bottom, and turn it inside out. That gives you that outside to protect your clothes and gear from water. Now you're going to take that, once that bottom pouch is zipped up, you're going to take this and shove it inside. Just like that. Now that it's inside there, you can start to pack your stuff. So first and foremost, I'm going to take my trousers. Now, personally, I fold these. You can Ranger roll them if you want, but I personally fold them because honestly, inside the ruck, it doesn't matter. Folding it and rolling it is not going to make a significant difference in space. So I've got it folded. I'm going to shove it down inside. Next, my blouse. So here's my blouse. Too wrinkly and folded. I'm going to go right on top. I know it looks kind of funky from the outside, but then you're also going to want your shirt. I put that in usually on the side. So you're going to want to push that in so you've got your clothes stacked and then your shirt to the side. Then I've got my underwear, I've got socks. Highly recommend you pack multiple pairs of each of these. And that goes the same for your shirts too. Stuff those in on the side, just like so. Alright, so there's our clothes. That's typically what you're going to put in there clothes-wise. Next is your sleep system. Here's your stuff sack. Inside should be your sleeping bag and your bivvy. Your sleeping bag, the one that you put in there is going to depend on the weather, and you'll know that in advance. So for me, I've got the summer sleeping bag in here, and I've got my bivvy. I've got it nice and tight. So I'm going to stuff that in here, just like this, nice and tight. There we go. Now, onto a major part. and that is going to be tying this up. So you see, obviously it's inside out and your cords are inside. So fold this out a little bit, just enough to get those cords. You can keep pushing stuff down in here. Now you've got this folded out. You're going to bunch that up, lift this up, and you can see you got a whole bunch more space now. Not really space you're going to use, but it's space. Now, tighten this together so it's like a mouth, an opening, and fold it just like that. And you want to tighten this real good. That way you're getting as much air out as possible. Twist it. Now you've got these cords. And you're going to use this to tie this off. So, now when you tie this off, there's only one knot that you're going to use. I start off by wrapping it because it gets it tighter. Once that's tight, you're going to tie it just like you tie your shoes. The reason why you do that is if you have to get into your ruck at night and you can't see, it's easy to undo because you've been tying your shoes for years, right? So now that that's tied, now all of your clothes and your sleeping system is waterproof. Even if it pours rain, as long as this is secured correctly and tightly, it's not getting wet. So now that all that's in there, tighten this next portion just like that. And you're going to have an outside one. Mine doesn't tighten perfectly, but it's going to work. Alright, so now you can see all that's in there nice and tight, nice and snug. But it's not completely tight. So, now, you see this zip up pouch right here? This is great for writing material. If you've got like a notepad and pens, you can put them in here. I would put flashlight. Out of the packing list, the flashlight's what I would put in there. That way, you can get to it pretty easily. Unless you keep that on your flick, you can do that. Personally, I'd rather have it in my ruck. All right, so now that we've gone over that, there's two things that you can put right here. If you're going to ruck with your Kevlar on, you're not going to put your Kevlar here. Of course, because you're going to be wearing it. Or you can put your sleeping mat. I personally keep my sleeping mat right there. Really quick, let's talk about your Kevlar or your ACH. We use Kevlars. So, on your packing list, it says you have, let's see, what's the wording? It says you have a PAS, GT, or ACH. So, a Kevlar or an ACH. This is an ACH. Next, it says you're going to have a helmet cover and a helmet band camouflage, cat eyes. So this, you can see this is my ACH, my Kevlar. Then I've got the cover, and this that's wrapped around it that you should have issued. This is the cat eyes. As you can see, it's got my name and my blood type. Yours won't have that. So you can put that here. I don't, because it's bulky and I don't like it. But generally, that's where they go. Now, we're going to set this to the side because on an FTX, you're going to wear this. So, let's move on to the side here. On your ruck, you've got 2 side pouches, right? Always put your rain gear in one of those pouches. You may have a tarp, you may have full rain gear, you may have a poncho. I've got a jacket. This is what I was issued. And also a note, most of what I have here is not stuff that's issued from supply. This is all either personal or issued from my unit. Most of it's from my unit. So your stuff is not going to look the same as mine. So this is my poncho rain jacket, and I'm going to put it in this pouch. Then I'm going to tighten it real good. Reason why I'm putting it here is it's accessible. I can take my ruck off, open this pouch, and get my rain gear out anytime. It's just easy. So, now that we've gone over that, you've also got a side pouch here that's now free, so you can put MREs or other stuff in there. You're going to need your hygiene kit, right? So you can put your hygiene kit in here. For now, that's what I'm going to do. You can put, one thing I like to have with my gear is tape, because I'll talk about this later. You'll have all of your straps taped off, so I like to keep extra tape, because sometimes I have to adjust these, and having the tape is better to it's useful to tape it back off. So moving on from there, you're going to have your sleeping mat. And there's really 2 places that this can go. It can go up here, where I prefer to have it, or it can go down here, right there. Either one works. So, because this is where I like to have mine, this is where I'm going to put it. Connect my straps, tighten that sucker down. Actually, so there's a proper way to tighten this, but it really doesn't matter. I like to tighten mine across. It condenses my ruck a little bit better. It's kind of unorthodox, but it works. It doesn't specifically matter how these go. So that's my way of doing that. Now let's tighten this down. Let's get both of these straps. Tighten it up. Now you still have some more space, right? You only put a little bit in here. You still have this bottom pouch that you can unclip this, and it's got a zipper so you can access it. For me, that is usually where my hygiene kit goes, and usually where my MREs go. Sometimes I'll put hygiene kit in here or MREs in here, and you'll field strip MREs for an FTX. That's a topic for another time. So you won't have the full MRE in there. Down here, I like to store like dirty clothes. I always bring like a Walmart bag and put it in here. That way my stinky clothes don't have to be in the main portion of my ruck. So now that we've got the main part done, a very crucial piece of your ruck that every time you ruck you're going to have, and that's your PT belt. So you're going to want to take it, extend it all the way, out. Now you're going to wrap this around the frame. You can do it multiple ways. Here's how I do it. I wrap it around the front, between the shoulder pads, between here and here. So I wrap it like this, and I do that very intentionally so that this part would be on my back. You can wrap it between the frame and the ruck and around, or you can do it in front of the frame. Doesn't make a difference in comfort for me, so that's how I do it. And then you're going to wrap it around here and connect it. You can tighten it if you want. That's tight enough. That way you're visible when you're rucking. So there's that. You can also loop your PT belt through your sleeping pad. Mine is one of the blow-up ones, so I don't like looping it through. It's easier when you have a foam mat. So that's the main portion of the ruck. As far as everything on the packing list, that is it. You also will have, you may or may not have one of these, a protractor. You can slide that in your side pouch. But just remember your main things you don't want to get wet should go in that waterproof sack. So there is a packed ruck. Now let's go over a couple important things to wearing this. First and foremost, before you pack any of this up, you're going to want to look at the back of the ruck. Actually, we'll look at it from the side because it's better. You see this here? This needs to be at the top loop here. Don't adjust it yourself. Have somebody help you. That way, the weight in your ruck is towards the top of your back. It should never be at the bottom. Because when you're rucking, you don't always ruck like this. You should be standing straight and your shoulders back, chest puffed out, at a normal walking pace. However, it's not how people normally ruck. If you have all that weight at the bottom of your back, it's going to pull you backward. If you have it towards the top and you lean forward a little bit, it drives you forward. Not to where you fall, but it keeps you moving forward instead of falling over. So you want all that weight, like I said, at the very top of your ruck. Only place it should go. Now, when you put the ruck on, so you're going to want to tighten these straps. You'll bend over once it's on your back. You'll put put everything on. Don't tighten everything necessarily. You can, but you don't have to. You want these straps right here to be tight. Completely tight. That way, this shoulder is up against the frame. And you're pulling the weight of the ruck to the top of your back. Then you'll tighten these straps, tighten the waist, make sure the waist and here is nice and tight, as well as the chest strap. You don't want the weight on your shoulders. So make sure once this is attached and it's secured, we'll probably run through all this. Make sure it's nice and secure and wrap tightly around your waist. That way the weight is on your hips and not your shoulders. Weight should not be on your shoulders. If it's on your shoulders, it's going to hurt. It could end up causing problems. So now let's talk a little bit about taping. So notice how all my straps are taped, right? Because you don't want straps hanging around. Here, I'll unroll this and show you. So here's what I do. I put it on, adjust it, make sure it's nice and tight, and then I wrap it or roll it like this, and then I tape it. I always give myself a little bit of slack, maybe even a little bit more than that. That way I can make adjustments without having to retape it. So let's go ahead and get in here. I have to shove my hand in there. And this is why, see, I had to make an adjustment, but I have electrical tape. So now, look at that. Now I can wrap this really good. And it's adjusted. All right, a couple other things on your packing list. We talked a little bit about your flick. I know this one is different. This is my personal one. So you're going to have mag pouches, that's standard. You're going to have canteen pouches and grenade pouches. So, of course, you've got your canteens and your canteen cup. I think my canteen cup is, oh, it's on this side. In this pouch, doesn't matter which one you put it in. And then I've got the strap tight. Other items you're going to have are utility gloves. I personally like these attached to my rig, which is easier for me. And then you will, at some point, if you don't already, will have a compass, just like this. You're also going to have your iPro. You'll have cheaper, clear iPro, but here's iPro. Eye protection. Then, at some point, you'll have face paint. We mentioned earlier, you've got your protractor. That should be on you, not in your ruck. So now my ruck is on. I am leaning over. See these straps? Pulling them tight. And they're already tightened. Then I'm going to put on my belt. I'm going to strap my chest strap. Make sure that's tight. Pull these straps. Tighten that. Now it is nice and tight on my back, just like it should be. So remember, straps right here should be the first thing. You can attach these first, probably should. Then you're going to bend over. You're going to grab these straps and pull them. Make sure that that weight is at the top of your ruck. And you're going to tighten. You can tighten these straps. Tighten the chest strap. And then you're good to go. Nice and tight. Tight is very, very important. Not super tight where you can't breathe, but tight where it's secure. Now, I'm ready to ruck. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and comment down below. I appreciate your support. There will be more ROTC videos coming soon.